Good evening, my audience. This is George Ondek with the latest edition of the George Ondek Show. I'm very honored tonight to have the Republican team from Buchanan who are running for mayor and trustees. Al Donahue, the 7-term past mayor. And Al, Mayor, I'm going to let you announce the other two fine gentlemen.
Okay, George, first I want to thank you for allowing us to be on your show.
It's an honor.
And I also want to thank you for serving our great country. And I know you served in Vietnam and you were seriously injured. And God bless you and thanks again.
And thank you, Al.
Okay.
Thank you for your service to veterans. I hear you do a lot for veterans, that you're for keeping the VA hospital open in Montrose.
1,000%. And I have the pleasure of taking veterans down back and forth to the VA for treatments and for seeing their loved ones. So I enjoy doing it.
And I know your brother John is very active in the
Very active. He's involved with the wounded veterans.
Does very good for them.
He's very
I may
involved.
be joining that post shortly.
Well, I'm all set. I'll get your application.
Okay, but you want to introduce
Sure.
the other two fellows?
My pleasure to introduce my running mates, Angelo Iacomini and Ed Del Monte. They're both running for trustees, and we're running together as a team. And our main concern, and we'll be bringing it out, is we're against any increases of taxes, and times are tough enough for people. They don't need any tax increase.
And I understand you're running on a 0% tax increase.
Definitely.
What has your opponent or the current mayor done since he's been in office with taxes?
Well, he's been only one term as taxes, and this year his taxes were a little over 5%.
Wow.
Now I serve.
Even the governor, who's a liberal, is trying to limit everything to 2%, and he went 5.4%, I believe.
When I served as mayor one time, I had 7 straight years of a 0 tax increase.
Wow.
And I intend to do it this year, and I have 2 fine running mates that agrees with me. We got to keep the taxes down to 0.
And I must ask your 2 running mates, Angelo, why are you running? Why did you decide to run for public office, Angelo?
Well, this is actually my 4th time running, okay? Wow. And I want to make a change in the village itself. The village itself, I think, it's a good village. We want to maintain its individuality. We want to keep it affordable for the people to live in, and that's a 0 tax increase.
And you, Mr. Del Monte, why are you running for?
Well, actually, it was the taxes that definitely pulled me into this, because I'm new to the political arena, and I've been seeing what's going on, and we have definitely been overtaxed, all the way from the top down. We're getting so much overtaxed that it really has to stop.
And gentlemen, you're a man after my own heart. You don't know this, but 18 years ago in Peekskill, when I saw a school superintendent wanted to raise our taxes 17%, I started up the second Tea Party. 1776 was the first one,
yeah.
But I even dumped tea bags into the Hudson. And I like to hear elected officials say they're running on a 0% tax increase.
That was interesting you brought that up, George, because several years ago in our village,
yes,
our taxes went up 102.5%. Now, the same people that are running the party that representing the people that are running against us, the incumbent,
right,
voted for that 102%
But are you
income.
kidding me? They doubled the taxes in 1 year?
102%.
And what was your record when you were in office?
7 straight years of a 0 tax increase.
Really?
And I'm going to do it again with the help of these 2 trustees.
And how do you feel about veterans and seniors? Those are 2 subjects dear to my heart, because I'm a veteran and I'm a senior.
Veterans and seniors are very close to my heart also.
And would you work actively to help them in your community?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
How about you, Mr. Del Monte?
Same thing. I mean, veterans, my gosh, what they've done for us, and seniors as well, they definitely need the help.
That's right. We're lucky. We're very fortunate. We have a fine fire department, and we also have a great ambulance corps, which is great for the protection.
And what's great about it, you have a volunteer fire department.
And ambulance corps too.
And are you still an active member, or
I'm a life member. of the Buchanan Fire Department. I'm also a life member of Columbia Host Fire Department in Peekskill, and a life member of the Knights of Columbus.
And I understand you have quite a background working as a state trooper. And are you the one who started the State Troopers Union?
Well, actually, it was my brother, but I was very involved with it. But at the time when I served up in Albany for 5 years as president of the State Police Union. I had 4,500 members. And the troopers do a great job.
Of course
and they continue to do a great job. And I had a privilege to serve as the president.
Well, you're to be saluted, because without that union, you know what the wages would be. My dad worked many years ago on the New York Central Railroad, and at that time they had no union in the 30s and 40s and early 50s, I believe. And unions are so important to get the salaries of the workers up. And
when we talk about the veterans, like I say, I'm also past commander of the American Legion, Post 274. But the thing is, these guys, and like yourself, George, I know you were injured and wounded, they give so much and they ask so little. And they shouldn't have to be going out the way they do.
I want to set the record straight. I wasn't actually wounded. I was hurt diving into a foxhole during a rocket attack.
Well,
I re-injured an old injury.
Oh, that's okay.
And I actually was offered a Purple Heart, but I turned it down. I may reapply for it.
But like I say, hey, you served your country,
right.
and you should be
Vietnam.
proud, and I know you.
And so many people didn't thank veterans then.
No. But right now, we got to do everything we can to help. We got to keep that hospital open, because
Definitely.
my very close friend that died not too long ago, Ken McDonald.
Oh, I knew
who
him
got
very
two Purple
well.
Hearts. He was there and worked on building that hospital in 1947. And he passed away in that hospital.
Did I hear that he survived 2 torpedo attacks? That you were the one who actively fought so he could get a disability, and it took
me 45 years. I filed every year
Wow.
for him for 45 years till he got the recognition that he finally deserved. But there's so many other guys out there that are not receiving what they deserve, and we got to go out and help the veterans. And we got to keep that VA hospital open.
Let me ask Angelo Iacomini, what is your feeling about a part-time planner in the town of Buchanan?
Well, I feel that this part-time planner we have now is not. We have a planning board. We have a code enforcement officer. We have a village attorney. We have
Engineer.
a village engineer also. With that, do we really need to spend any more money on a planner? The village is small. There's not really a lot of planning left per se. There's not a lot of available vacant land. So to spend the taxpayer money wisely in this day and age, in this environment, this economic environment that we have, I think is very important to the residents of the village.
And Ed Del Monte, I have to ask you again, have you ever run for office before? And if you didn't, what motivated you this time to become so active?
No, I've never run before. It's only since recently I've retired that I thought maybe I could put more of my time into it. And definitely I've noticed, like I say, in many years back, that we have been getting overtaxed. And it's just gotten too much. It's just gotten to be too much. And,
So that's your main issue, that
yeah,
lower
definitely,
taxes.
definitely.
And George, you talked about your father being on the railroad.
Yeah, he was a track man,
Well, Ed
by the way.
retired from the railroad, so I didn't
Really?
know.
I
Yeah,
didn't know
35 years on the railroad.
Wow. Oh, I forgot something else about you. I've been reading your background. Well, you're happily married for 53 years.
Right.
You got me beat by 5.
5 children and 21 grandchildren.
And also, before you were a trooper, you were a member of a very fine union.
Remember, Operating Engineers Local 137.
And Lou Varicchio was the
A very
union
close friend of
delegate.
mine.
Very good man.
Yeah, and I'm still a member.
And he's a friend of mine. I have coffee with him
I know you do.
once
He's a
in a while
great guy, yeah.
at McDonald's.
Great guy.
place.
We go way back.
Maybe I shouldn't mention McDonald's. That's not a plug, folks.
Well, you just mentioned that's my friend Ken McDonald.
on Welcher Avenue. But are there any burning issues in the town that something could be improved that you would do as mayor?
Well, let's look at it. And we talk about taxes, and everybody's concerned because
Sure,
people are having a hard time.
Except tax and spend liberals.
That's right.
They spend the people's money and they find more and more ways to tax them.
People know, they see gas going up, they see oil going up. The governor, in his wisdom, he, and with the legislators, they agree with him, he put a 2% property tax cap,
Yes.
right? Which is a great thing because people are losing their homes and everything else. We don't have to increase taxes.
No.
The current board voted unanimously, 5-0, to override that 2% tax cap. So that means they can raise taxes as high as they want. And the tentative budget isn't due, the mayor's budget, until March 20th. Now, March 20th is election day. So they could, after that, they could raise taxes.
They don't have to put a proposed budget in before then?
Not till March 20th, and that's the day of the election.
That's just something should be changed, that it should be 3 months before an election.
Well, like I said before, I had 7 straight years of a zero tax budget, and times are hard. There's an awful lot of waste in village government that we can bring in a zero tax budget again.
And Al, I'm not an elected official or anything, but I've studied government. And unless you have a checks and balance system, it's not good. And from what I understand in the town, one party has all the elected officials.
Everybody on the board ran.
We won't mention what party.
Well, they
Democrats.
They ran on Democratic. There's nothing. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Because we need the Democrat support also to win. But the thing is, every one of them is either a Democrat or ran on a Democratic line.
But unless you have another party in there's nobody to say no if they want to do spending, right?
There's nothing. And then you have the other thing there where they propose a 1% utility tax.
A 1% utility tax.
And what that does, that means on your electricity and your gas heat, you got to pay an extra 1%.
The town proposed that?
The village board proposed that. Now, but also, here's the thing, they call it a tax, but actually it's a fee, so you can't even deduct it if you're a homeowner at tax time.
You know, I'm finding out in other cities they're doing that. They're putting fees on
right.
you. I won't mention the condo tax they want to put on us in Peekskill. That would cost condo owners $30 or $40 or $50 more a month, and they can't write it off on their taxes.
I don't have to tell you, George. I mean, look, but I know you're a seniors. But the seniors and people on fixed incomes and young families, they're having a tough time now. They don't need any tax increases, and they don't need any utility tax on tax on their electricity and their gas. It's way out of line.
So
I would stop that. Right
so
away.
Your opponents and board are on record of raising taxes.
They proposed
and
it.
all three of you do vow for a 0% tax increase if you get in.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
And I have your word on that, right, fellas?
Yeah, my word.
Okay. Are there any lights in Buchanan? Is there an issue about a light or something?
There is an issue. There's a traffic light that's been there since they built the Buchanan Verplank School around 1970. The traffic light was destroyed in a storm in December of 2010. Since that time, it still hasn't been replaced. Now, I think we all agree, besides everything else, we talk about the seniors and ourselves, our main concern is our children. They're our top priority. Now, we have a safe record, and there's no reason why that light isn't being replaced for Buchanan Verplank School. And I'll go on record as saying, I will have that light replaced, and it'll be done at no cost to the taxpayers.
And are you telling me it's going on for months and months?
December of 2010.
Wow.
And there's no reason. I mean, hey, our children are number one. And anything at all to protect their safety, we have to do.
And speaking of children being number one, you're also the proud father and grandfather of 25 grandchildren and children, is that correct?
No, unless you know more than I do. 21 grandchildren, 16 granddaughters.
Well, I heard 2 sets of twins are on the way.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, but 16 granddaughters and 5 grandsons.
Wow, it sounds like you're bigger than the Kennedy family, and you're doing pretty good against the Spano family of Yonkers.
Well, very, very proud.
They had 16 kids, by the way.
We're
and their father was a man who put blocks of ice on his back and went up 5 flights of stairs.
I know him very well.
For a quarter. Lenny.
I knew Lenny very well.
I knew him because they lived in my neighborhood.
No, I'm blessed, and we're blessed.
I'm blessed too. You know why, Al? I have a wife of 48 years. Her name is Gail Blessing Ondek. She was a blessing till she met me. Now she's an Ondek. But let's get back to the politics. When is this election, fellas?
Well, the election is on March 20th. Okay.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
That's coming up pretty quickly. When this
3
shows,
weeks from tomorrow.
there may only be a week or two left. So
Right.
you want people to get out and vote.
Get out and vote.
Now, if people don't like what's in there now, if they don't go out and vote, they won't get a change, right?
Exactly. You need to vote in the government that you want. Okay. If you want a government that's for you, you need to get out there and make the changes. Correct.
Then they don't go out and vote. But if they want to change, if they want 0% taxes, they'll vote for all three of you, right?
We will.
And I got your pledge before. You're all for it, or I'll come
No.
after you get in.
And also-
I'll come to your town board
because it's
meeting.
my taxes also.
The polls are from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's on Tuesday,
What's the
March
date
the
again
20th.
now?
Tuesday, March the 20th. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and we're hoping there's a very strong turnout.
Now, why do they have this election like in March and all the other ones in April?
Well, I think
November.
I can answer that.
What?
Years ago, the people that that were in power with the villages, they decided to have it to separate it from the November election.
Oh, okay.
So over 90% of the villages in New York State, a lot of people don't know it. I didn't know it myself till I moved there from Peekskill. Over 90% they hold the village elections in March.
Mr. Del Monte, you look like you wanted to say something there.
Yes, about the taxes and changing the way things should be. You know, if you keep on doing what you've been doing, you will keep on getting what you've been getting.
Yes.
So you have to get out there and change that.
Do you have anything else to add? The show is getting near the end,
Well,
but we still have a
what
little
I got to
time
say,
left.
and you know, and the thing is, people, I don't have to even go into it. You watch television, people are having a hard time paying their bills.
You don't
We
have
know the
to
gas
tell
went up,
me.
oil went up.
Al,
People are lucky they could buy a loaf of bread. They don't need a tax increase, and they don't need a utility
you know
tax.
why you don't have to tell me? I'm a senior on a fixed income, partially disabled
That's
vet.
right, you know.
My wife has gone through a lot of sicknesses, a hip replacement and a bypass. And if these taxes keep going up in the town I live in, I'll have to put up for foreclosure. And I don't want that to happen.
Like I say, the governor and the state legislators, they passed a mandated 2% tax increase.
Yes.
There was no reason where that should have been overridden.
You're right.
We should be looking for a zero tax increase instead of raising it up. And like I said, in 2006, 2007, that board raised taxes in our village 102.5%. And Angelo, I think he wants a comment about that, Angelo, right?
Angelo, you
What
want
it really meant.
Was it the current mayor in or the current
No, but
council?
it's the
current
same person
trustees.
that's the chairman of the party that these people are running under.
Oh.
He was the mayor
You
at that
want to
time.
comment on that?
Well,
Angelo?
you need to add on that on top of the 102% increase, they went 16.9 the following year.
Wow.
And, you know, it's a lot for people to take, especially you've got school taxes to pay and the other
And that's
taxes.
interesting. School taxes are coming up, and a lot of people don't realize that's 70% of their taxes. So it's important for them to get out to vote when the school budget comes
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you know, everything adds up. And the bottom
Sure.
line, people are on fixed income. Right now, a lot of people, they're losing their jobs, and it's a terrible thing. They're working 2 or 3 jobs just to make things
Right.
meet. They
And
can't afford another
seniors-
tax.
And seniors on fixed incomes are having to go back and work part-time jobs in stores and things.
The seniors
and
are-
what a disgrace that is.
Seniors
right?
are going to be hurt the most
Sure they are,
because, and we got to stop that.
Right.
definitely.
We feel there needs to be new avenues looked at if we, for revenues or whatever the case might be, but not taxing the
So
people.
you feel a change is definitely in order, so the people don't get the same old thing,
Right.
tax and spend, liberal
Absolutely.
politics
Absolutely.
in Buchanan.
And that's what we have right now. We have keep spending and keep raising taxes, and that's going to end very shortly.
Okay, and you vowed to do that. Oh, 7 terms you had? How many years were you in altogether? Mayor
14
Donahue?
years.
14.
14. I enjoy doing it, and I am 29 years with the state police.
Wow. And how many years as an engineer?
Oh, I did that when I got out of high school.
Okay.
And also, and like I say, and
I hear you were a pretty tough police officer too. That the kids in Peekskill and the surrounding area were pretty afraid of you. That you were very strict.
I was fortunate.
You and your brother.
Well, yeah, and we traveled all over the state. We worked all over the
Really?
state, you know, and
Wow.
we were very fortunate to do that.
Did you ever guard anybody important, like the governor or people like
the
that?
governor, and in fact,
Really?
when
Governor
I was
Pataki?
well, I was very close to governor,
Oh yes.
but I was very close with Governor Carey
Uh-huh.
and
That was
Gov-
you, Carrie,
yep,
right?
Governor Rockefeller,
Wow.
Governor Harriman. I'm going back.
Wow.
Governor Cuomo. So the few, and when I was in the service, I was assigned to detail the guard President Eisenhower, and with the troopers, I was in a detail to guard President Nixon.
Wow.
So I was very fortunate.
Al, I have a few enemies. Would you promise to guard me? Some people may come after me saying I'm wanted for $10,000 dead or alive because I'm a public advocate besides doing this as a. But my main goal is to keep taxes down.
I'll tell you, like I say, and I can't say people are having real hard times. The hardest I can remember in my lifetime. What's going on today?
Yeah, except for maybe the Depression and the night.
Yeah,
You're not that old. You don't remember that,
Well,
but your mom
I'm
and
getting
dad
close,
probably
but the
told
thing is, we don't need no tax increase in the village, and we don't need any place, and we don't need no utility tax, which actually is a fee, and you can't even deduct that at homeowner at tax time.
I don't like that MTA tax that's on our car registrations. I think they've added something like $80 on when you re-register your car.
That's right.
Or the license plates or
I
something.
read a little article today in one of the newspapers.
And we never take the trains to New York
Oh, I
City.
know it, but I read
They don't help us pay the gas tax or the gas, $4 or $5 a gallon we have right now.
in the paper today. I'm going to say what paper. There's a little article where the person was against increasing the 2% tax cap,
Right.
and his last few words is saying, people have a hard enough times now holding their houses.
Right.
They keep raising these taxes, they'll be losing them.
That's true, and that's happening
I
too.
know it.
I see it happening in Peekskill, and it's happening all over the county from what I hear.
No, we're dead against it, and there's no reason for it.
How long have you lived in Buchanan?
I've lived in Buchanan actually since 2000, the tail end of 2000. So I'm the rookie here, so to speak, when it comes to a resident. But I did live in the town of Cortland for 26 years prior
so
in
you've lived
Verplank.
in the area for
Yes.
a long time. And how long have you lived in Buchanan?
Buchanan, 25 years.
And it's a beautiful little town.
Yes,
Beautiful.
it is.
You keep it, it's kept well, and people are all nice there.
It's 1 square mile, George, and it's between 2,000 and 2,100 people. It's a very nice little village. I moved there in 1964. I was born and raised in the city of Peekskill. I went to the Assumption School, the Guardian School, whatever they called it at the time, and then Peekskill High School.
I remember when you dedicated a clock there in the town square.
That was dedicated and it's still there. It's very nice.
Yeah, yeah. And people are very close in the town, I understand.
They are, and because, like I say, when you get 2,000 people, almost everybody knows everybody. You know, they meet at one time or another.
Are there any other burning issues that you want to talk? We've got about 5 minutes left in the show.
Well, we're one of the major projects that we need to accomplish is the sewage treatment plant,
Yeah.
which has to undergo renovations. The people of the village have been good enough to authorize through the vote $1,500,000 bond.
Right.
Okay, but we've passed now 2 years and nothing's been done on it. It's a major thing because we want to stay in compliance with the county, with the health regulations, or whatever the case might be. And we think that something should have been done on that already. We need to move along on that quickly and get our sewage treatment plant up to speed where it should be and into the future, actually. So.
See, right now there's 2 parts to the sewage treatment plant. Only one part is operating. The other part isn't operating. When I was the mayor, the health department, they insisted that we repair that other half. Everything was in place to repair it by the former engineer. But since that time, the last 2 years, little or nothing has been done. But it has to be done because, like I said, we only got one part working out of the other two. If the other one goes, we really have a problem.
So that's a major infrastructure project which needs to be done and needs to be done.
And again,
Quickly.
would like you and him to announce who you are so people know who you are and what you're running
Okay.
for, because you're new people on the scene as far as becoming the next trustee in Buchanan.
Well, I'm Angelo Iacomini.
Edward Del Monte.
Okay, and Mayor Donahue, we have about 2 minutes
Mm-hmm.
left in the show. Do you want to say who you are again?
Well, no, what I
And
want to do, I just want to, like I said, once again, thank you for letting us on the show.
It's been my pleasure.
And
I like to
say,
get the word out to the community.
I lived
on-
here all my life. I'm very concerned about people. I always have been. I'm concerned about the seniors. I'm concerned about the young people. And we're very fortunate in our village. We have a fine police department, a fine highway department. Our office is great. We have a recreation department. We have everything going. And some people, I don't think they want to see these changes that are trying to be implemented at this time. And once again, the people are having a hard time, and everybody knows that. There's no reason for any tax increase, and I'm 100% against it.
Now, if people want to reach you or to volunteer for your campaign, how can they reach you?
Well, they can reach
again?
me very easy because, like I say, even my 29 years on the state police,
Yes.
I always have my phone number listed.
You
Generally,
always had your
a
phone
police
number?
officer doesn't do that.
Wow.
But I felt if people
I
want
even
to
have an unlisted
I know.
number.
Well, if people want to find me, they find
That's
you.
true.
And my number is 914-737-4038, and I'm always available. And I like people. That's why I'm running for
You're
office.
a people person.
Yeah, and I've been blessed. And like I said, we got to keep the VA hospital open. And whatever we could do for the veteran, we have to do it because they gave everything for us.
Anything very quickly you want to say in closing?
Well, again, we're for the senior citizens. We're for the fire department and the police department. We're 100% behind them, and we just want to see the best for everybody.
Mr. Del Monte, anything in closing?
Just get out and vote and make a difference.
And what's the date again?
March 20.
March 20th, 2012. And before that, I want to wish all of our listeners, I'm devoting myself to radio, and I'm sure you do too.
Mm-hmm.
We want to wish everybody a happy St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yeah, we
Would you
love
go
that.
along with that?
Oh,
Mr.
I think it's a
Donahue?
great thing when my father's people came from the county Monaghan.
Uh-huh. And again, I want to thank you
Thank you.
tonight for being on the George Ondek
Thank
Show.
you very
too,
much.
sir, and you too. My viewers, tune in to the next show, but I hope you get out and vote and get on deck with George again next week and see the latest edition of my show. Thank you again, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
George.
you.
It was my pleasure. Because we want to get the word out to the public and the truth out to the public.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Thank you.
And thank all of our veterans and thank all
And
of
I
our...
hear you're a very good church goer too. People
Yeah.
seeing you go to church with your family every